Alright, so when it comes to packing bearings, there's two ways you can pack bearings. One is you can buy a bearing packer. There's a tool called a handy bearing packer, which you fill up with grease and then you push down, and then it just pumps the grease. It pushes grease into the bearing and boom, you're done in like a matter of seconds. The way that I learned it and the way I'm going to show you guys is old school. Now you want to clean this real good. Take some brake cleaner and clean this off real good. At the same time, you should probably clean your spindle while you're there. Let that dry up. So the way you do it, so this is the grease that I got. I went to O'Reilly's and I got this. This is actually Master Pro. This is for disc brakes and bearings. It should get the job done for me. This is what it looks like. Can you see that? It's like this red grease. Looks like jello. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is take about that much grease and put it on the palm of my hand. And with the bearing, you're gonna scoop it. See that? Scoop. That's all we're gonna do. Scoop, scoop. Now you wanna go little by little. You don't wanna take the bearing and just dump it in the middle of the grease. You wanna take a little bit at a time. So the grease is gonna look like that. Very, very little. Now this is gonna be time consuming. This is why a lot of people like the handy bearing packer. Now if you wanna go ahead and spend 30 bucks, go ahead and spend 30 bucks. So once you start getting the grease in there, it's gonna start looking a little bit like that. Okay? Now you wanna keep doing that until the grease comes out of the other side of the bearing right there. So I'm gonna keep at it right here. And you can go like this, very, very tiny increments. And every time you hit your palm, it's pushing grease into the bearing. This is all you want to do. Smack it on your palm like that, and then it's gonna push grease all the way through. I can see it coming through now. You're actually gonna get grease inside the bearing right here. You can take that grease and put it back on your palm, or go ahead and rub it on the spindle because you're gonna need some grease on there also. And keep going. Just get it all the way through. This is old school. This is how mechanics used to do it back in the days. Mr. Frankie from Pep Boys was an older mechanic, and he didn't need to work anymore. But he loved what he did, so kept working, and he taught me a lot. See, when you're in the field, now this is back in the day, I'm talking about 2008, 2009. When you're in the field, you're gonna run into techs, you're gonna run into mechanics that either want to teach you what they know, or that don't want to teach you shit because they're afraid that by them teaching you, you're gonna be taking money out of their pocket. I mean, and you might, but like I always say, what good is the knowledge that you have if you're not sharing your knowledge? That's why I make these videos. You can actually see some of the grease starting to come out a little bit right there. I mean, I don't know if you can catch that on camera. Probably not because of the lighting, but it's coming through. It's coming through. So once you see that coming through, you can take the bearing, give it a quarter turn, and repeat the process. And just keep smacking. You can actually use the bearing to clean the grease that you're smearing around. And just keep going all the way around. I might speed up the video just so it'll be so it won't get boring for you, but if you don't want to spend 30 bucks on a handy bearing packer, this is how you do it. Pack the bearing, pack the bearing, pack the bearing, pack the bearing, pack the bearing. That's all it takes. But like I said, if you're flagging, if you're working at a shop, go ahead and buy that handy bearing packer. It's gonna save you a lot of time, and it's gonna make you more money. But I wasn't gonna buy it right now because I was only gonna use it once, and then that was it. I was gonna store it. I mean, eventually I'll probably use it again down the line, but I figured I'd show you guys how to do this. You can actually smear some on the outside also, because you're gonna need some there. Now, don't try to shortcut this and just rub it on the outside and say, okay, it's good. When the bearings start rolling, it's gonna take the grease inside. Okay, that's gonna give you premature bearing failure. It's better to take a little bit more time right now, get this shit done right, and save your bearings. You can actually see the old grease coming out. You can see the difference in colors. This one's nice and red, and this one's kind of black. This is what just came out. It's pretty damn dirty. So with that handy bearing packer, what that does also is it pushes out the old grease, pushes in new grease in like 5 seconds. It's worth the money. Okay. There it is, it's coming through. Hopefully you guys can catch it. Focus. You probably can't catch it. Well, there it is, it's coming through. So you want to repeat this on the other bearing. Then once the bearings are packed, I'll show you how everything goes back together.